Well, welcome. This is our training video on the X32 soundboard. I'm Pastor Michael, if we haven't had a chance to meet. And this first video is to get you up and running, armed and dangerous, to be able to run a Sunday morning here with the soundboard. Later videos will go through some of the more advanced details, how to use the soundboard. They'll build on this, but where do you start on a Sunday morning? How can you at least come in and be able to turn the sound on, get things running, and hopefully put together and be running on a Sunday morning? So the first step is to turn the power on. How do we turn the power on? Well, here at Columbus Evangelical Church, over on the far side of the soundboard, underneath the soundboard, you see it right here, just underneath that edge, there is a power switch. You'll switch that on, click, click, perfect. And then that will turn on a little sequencer, power sequencer, that'll turn on power to the amplifiers, the sound system, the soundboard, and all the camera systems. So after turning on the power, the next thing you're going to do is select the pre-built scene for the particular worship team that's leading for that particular Sunday morning. Now there's a few different teams, so when you come in, you'll see the board kind of like this, and then you will come over to this section called Scene. And what you'll want to do is hit that view button. Once you hit that view button, it will pop up the different worship teams here. So I've got Bonnie, Hosanna, Children's Team, Josh, and I can go up and down with this little knob. And what you'll do is select a team. So let's say I'm going to do Summer, and I'll hit Go. I'll press in, and then it'll say, would you like to load this? Yes or no? Your yes or no is right here. So I'll hit Yes. You'll see the faders kind of shift around. Things will be happening on the board. It will load that worship team. Now, you can use this dial right here to move up and down, or you can literally click this previous next button here. You can go up and down. So for example, this morning, the pre-built recording I have for us is the children's team from this last Sunday. So I'll go up and down. I'll go to children's team. I could hit this button, go, or you can press this. It says go as well. Go. Yes, no, yes, I want to load that team, and it'll reset the faders. Now that you've got the correct worship team loaded up, you might start to hear them warm up, start to play, and you can hear them kind of, but the main volume in the room is turned down. So it might sound sort of like this. So you can hear them playing, but what's happening right now is all the volume is just turned on the wedges, the monitors on the stage. And so if you can't hear anything or the volume's not up, it's because the volume is not up in the main. So where you'll need to go right here is this main volume. And as you turn that up, oh, there's the worship team. I'm going to turn it down a little bit so it doesn't drive you crazy. So this main knob right here that says main, this will control the overall volume in the room coming through the main sound system. So up is up, down is down. Now for most worship teams, this main volume has been dialed in to be right at that 0 mark in the center. You can turn it down from normal or up from normal, but around that center mark is usually where it should be. If it's a particularly loud day, hey, that's why you're here running the soundboard. You can turn it down, or if it's particularly quiet, people aren't singing very loud that morning, you can turn it up a little bit. But that's the main volume for the sanctuary. Now the other area that you'll need to turn up the volume for so they can hear it is in the gym. When the soundboard first turns on, it will have both the main auditorium and the gym fully turned down. So, to turn up the volume in the gym, you'll come down to this lowest level. There's 4 buttons there. You'll come to this lowest one and you'll see a fader labeled gym. And you can turn that up. Now, oftentimes, the gym speakers are quite a bit louder, softer. For special events in the gym, we'll turn it up to that normal level. But because it can get kind of loud in the gym, I often run the gym at -5 decibels. That's what that little marker is at the bottom, -5. And so we'll run the gym right about there, and it should be good. Now, I don't usually turn up the volume in the gym until the worship team is done practicing. So once they're done practicing, hey, the last thing you'll do is you'll turn up that fader for the gym. That way it doesn't blast out people with just their practice volume in that early morning time. Now the final step to be ready for a Sunday morning is to go through and make sure that there's no low batteries in microphones. Oftentimes the worship team will know, hey, if it turns red, I need to replace the batteries. But it's good to double check because sometimes we miss those things. So check the battery indicator if there's an indicator on the microphone, or just look and see when you turn it on if the light turns red instead of green, batteries are low. So go ahead and replace those batteries and then you should be good to go for a Sunday morning. Now in the next video, we're going to figure out how to adjust some of the settings for a worship team and dial them in a little bit better for that Sunday morning worship time.